Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Hope you've been well. I do apologize for not doing a live stream for this month's news segment. I've just been like stupidly busy lately, and I've already been I've already been putting off the news video long enough. It's right now the very end of May. It's the 31st. I'm recording this at 9:30 p.m. Here Sunday night, so. Yeah, I figured let's just skip the live stream this month. We'll get the news video out. I do plan on doing a live stream for the news video next month as well, and maybe some other fun little streams here and there. We'll see. But anyways, let's jump into it. There's a lot to look at, so I'll try to go kind of quick. If you need to pause to look at the photos and whatnot, feel free to do so. As always, appreciate all you guys for watching, but let's jump into it. So, starting off with Mini GT, as always, we got this pre-order in last month's news segment for these 250th anniversary of the USA models. This photo is a little blurry, but anyways, it was the Ford Mustang GTD and the Chevy Corvette ZR1. As you can see, the ZR1 has been canceled. The reason being was because they just there was an issue with the tooling and they just weren't going to be able to get them out in time, which I don't really think matters. Like, it doesn't have to be out by July, which I think was kind of their goal. So they could have just released the GTD when it was ready and then done the ZR1 later on when it was ready. I don't think anybody would have really cared that it wasn't released during the week of July 4th or whatever. But anyways, so they canceled that. Kind of unfortunate. I thought this was a pretty cool two-car set, but it's just going to be the Ford Mustang. We do have some pre-orders though, if I can get my keyboard to work. So these two are really cool. I'm going to pre-order these. I have not yet, but I'm going to. I would recommend that if you want them, check your local retailers or wherever you order your stuff from. Pre-order them as well. These will probably be pretty popular. As far as I know, these are Australia exclusives, which makes sense. These were Australia race cars back in the day for Bathurst. So the number 33 cars from 1974. It is the Ford XB Falcon GT from the 1974 Bathurst 1000. And then the red one is the Ford XB Falcon GT from 1975 Bathurst 2000. Really, really cool. These look awesome. They've got tire printing. These are going to be really cool models. So definitely pre-order them if you're interested. We also got a pre-order on April 27th. This one included some pretty cool stuff. I really dig the BMW 750iL. This one's in black sapphire. Then we have another Ford Mustang GT3. This one is from 2025 IMSA Daytona 24 Hours. This was the winning car for the class. We also have a couple nice Liberty Walk cars. I actually kind of dig both of these. So we are getting the Nissan Skyline GTR R32 in the Liberty Walk Kaido Works Ammo Culture theme. That's the blue and white one right there. Actually kind of like it. And then we're getting the Nissan Silvia S15 LB Super Silhouette, also in the ammo culture theme. This one's like a pink. Kind of like both of those. They also are bringing back the Toyota GR Supra LB Works. That one is also in the ammo culture theme, but in black and white. So all three ammo culture Liberty Walk cars. Yeah, and then also we have the BMW M Hybrid V8 GTP car from the 2024 IMSA Daytona 24 Hours. So pretty nice pre-order there. I think I'm most excited for that black 750iL. That thing looks gangster. We also got a pre-order on May 11th. This one includes, again, some actually pretty cool stuff. I'm very hyped for this pre-order. I think I'm going to get all 6 of these, but we do have a Mazda MX-5 Pandem in mint green. Really like the color, really like the headlights are up. We got an Aston Martin DB5 in Fiesta red. Then we have a Nissan LB Silhouette Works GT35 GTRR version 1 in matte gray. This is kind of like the Fighterworks livery, so that's kind of a must-have for me. I always really like the Fighterworks stuff. We have a BMW M4 GT3 Evo from 2025 IMSA Daytona 24 Hours. That's the Paul Miller Racing. That one is awesome. Really like that one. We have a Porsche 911 992 GT3 RS in the Weissach package, and this one is called Gulf Orange. So that'll be really cool. And then last but not least, the McLaren F1 in blue black metallic. So we believe, we were discussing it in my friend group, we believe this is supposed to be the Weno Clinic owned car. So it should have like gray panels like on the side, and then I think at the back and then a little bit at the front, it should have gray panels. And we did never find information like from McLaren that this paint color was called blue black metallic. So I'm not sure where Mini GT is getting their information from. Apparently, it's very vague, even by like McLaren standards. So hopefully, they kind of correct it to make it a little bit more accurate to the actual Winnow Clinic version. But either way, it looks pretty cool. Up next, this is going to be very hype. Again, another set of cars where if you want these, pre-order them please, so that you don't miss out and then have to pay reseller pricing later. So obviously Fast and Furious, this is the first pre-order that we have gotten so far. This went live May 25th and it includes the Toyota Supra Bomex from the Fast and the Furious. Of course, this was Brian O'Connor's car. And then Mazda RX-7 Veilside Fortune from, again, the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. And this was Han's car. So actually pretty cool. I did pre-order these. I'm not the biggest Fast and Furious fan. I'm probably going to buy every release that they do except for any event versions. But yeah, pretty cool. Don't miss out if you want them. We also got a pre-order for this. This is also very hype. I thought this was going to be a big box set, kind of like they did for the 1984 Mercedes Race of Champions. But it's actually not. They're selling every single item here individually. So obviously, you have all the individual Land Rovers and Range Rovers. I believe there's 2 Range Rovers here and then 4 Land Rovers. Those are all going to be sold separately. But then also, obviously, the big thing here is the helicopter. So this is the Sikorsky, I believe is how you pronounce it, S-58T helicopter from 1985 Camel Trophy. That is going to be Mini GT accessory number 38. So they're labeling this as an accessory, not like a new not just part of like the normal lineup. So it's an accessory. They also have the raft. So this one's just called Camel Trophy Pontoon Raft. This is Mini GT accessory number 18, which this thing was supposed to come out years ago. And it looks like they're using the accessory number that they assigned to it way back then, with it being 18 versus number 38 for the helicopter. So really glad to see that out now. As you can see, the helicopter comes with that really tall acrylic stand. It's got the carrying net. Retail price on the helicopter is steep. I'm not gonna lie. I was very shocked to see that it was so expensive. Here in the United States, retail price for the helicopter is $190 USD. Yeah, very steep. Goes without saying, I already have it pre-ordered. I pre-ordered it and I pre-ordered the raft. I haven't pre-ordered any of the actual cars yet because I just haven't yet. But yeah, if you want this stuff, pre-order it. Yeah, kind of expensive, but very, very cool. This is the type of stuff I like to see from Mini GT. Anyways, up next, we also got 2 more James Bond pre-orders. So we have the Land Rover Defender 110 Crew Cab from Skyfall, and then we have the Aston Martin DBS from Casino Royale. Both of them look really cool. Of course, awesome card arts in all the different languages with the accurate movie posters. So there's that. For the Malaysia Diecast Expo, which has already passed, and we have a bunch of stuff to cover from that. They did sell the first 2 Fast and Furious cars, the Supra and the RX-7, at the event. I believe the difference here, as opposed to the regular pre-order that we just covered, is that these had exclusive packaging. The cars should be exactly the same as the global release, which I really do like. It's good on Mini GT. They're not locking these really hyped IP collabs behind an event paywall. So, yeah, exclusive packaging for the event, but there they are. They look pretty good. Up next, they also did sell this at Malaysia Diecast Expo as well. This is the 2026 Give car. It is, again, that Fast and Furious. Well, actually, I don't know if it's the Fast and Furious one specifically. I'm not sure. But it's that orange Veilside RX-7, except it's done in orange chrome. This one's limited to 1,200 pieces, which is pretty standard for a lot of the Give stuff, at least the older Give stuff. So yeah, there's that. I would really like to have this one to go with my Give collection, but they're just too expensive for me. I've been seeing them go for like $400, and I just don't have that money to spend on diecast. But anyways, pretty cool. We have a couple new pre-orders from Kaido House. In fact, one of them actually just went live like an hour before I started filming. But here we have the Nissan S13 Kaido Splash, and going along with that, the Chevy Silverado Dually Kaido Splash on the bottom right. Got a Volkswagen T1 Kaido Battleship, which is honestly kind of an interesting like deco for it. And then a Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR Kaido Works V3. The pre-order that just happened like an hour ago. We've got a Honda Civic EF Kaido Street V1 in white. We have a Nissan Fairlady Z Kaido Street V1. This one kind of looks like a chameleon purple with like a bunch of carbon fiber accents. Pretty cool. We've got a Datsun Kaido 510 in the Gulf theme. And last but not least, this is a new casting, as you can see with this giant sticker right here. It's finally we're getting the Camaro, the Chevy Camaro Kaido Works TAV1. Um, White and orange looks pretty cool. The rear hatch does open, so there is that for any of you that were waiting for this casting. Pretty cool. They also did have a couple event models for the one night in Malaysia and the Malaysia Diecast Expo. So the one on the left was the regular event model, Nissan Skyline GTR R34. Um, I believe this is a Fast and Furious collab one. Maybe not. No, maybe I'm wrong. But it is done in like that Fast and Furious R34 theme, which I know there was a lot of people that were kind of shitting on these. I don't, not exactly sure why. I don't really pay attention to Kaido House's stuff, but yeah, there's those. And then obviously the one night in Malaysia one was the one with the black accents and the looks like a bronze interior here, and it also has like a police light bar on the top. So there are those. I don't know how much what the dinner car was limited to. I'm assume probably around 300. That's usually what it is for these dinner cars. But yeah, there's that. They also did have a limited edition drop for um, brain fart Malaysia Diecast Expo. At least I believe it was for Malaysia Diecast Expo, but it is the Kaido Works, the Kaido Star Police, and it's done in like this cool like magic bronze pinkish theme. Color's pretty cool. I'm not sure how I feel about the casting. I mean, it is kind of a neat casting because it does pay homage to a lot of that like Kaido Racer and Bosozoku stuff. So yeah, there's that. Mini GT had a pop-up event in Vietnam, and here are some photos from it. There's some pretty cool stuff being shown off here, like the Volkswagen bus with the Porsche theme on it. We got a Mercedes AMG GT3, some of the cool van, the drag Veilside R32 with the parachute is pretty cool. Some BBRs as well. And I will say, this blue and yellow 599XX looks incredible. That thing is really cool. There's some Kaido House here as well. So pretty cool stuff for the little pop-up. There's a close-up of that 599XX. I had to show it. I think that thing looks so, so good. I love that car so much. That's one of my favorite Ferraris of all time. But anyways, moving on here, I think, yeah, so this is photos from the Shizuoka Hobby Show, which also happened since we did the last news video. So they displayed some pretty cool stuff here. A lot of this stuff we've already seen before, which is usually pretty common. But there was some new prototype stuff that was shown. Here's some Kaido House stuff. So they've got the R32 there. And then also, I believe that's the prototype of the Camaro, which obviously we just got one on pre-order. So there's Kaido House. Here's some BBRs. Again, I think we've seen most of this stuff before. There might be a couple new colors of certain things, but there's everything. I hate that these photos come out so blurry when they're zoomed in like this, but Mini GT showed off a lot of really cool prototype samples here. So we've got these right here. So on the left, we've got two Porsches. We've got a 962 and a 956. That's going to be so awesome. We've got the AMG 1. We've got the Bentley Blower, and then I believe this is a Toyota 2000 GT. We also have these. I think the one on the left is a Ford Torino, but I could be wrong on that. Then we've got the Cole or Cool. I don't know how to pronounce it still, but it's the Toyota. Actually, no, that might be the Subaru. It's either the Toyota GR86 or the Subaru BRZ. It's pretty much the same exact car, just different badges on it. But there's that. Pretty cool. I do not want to know what this car right here is. And then obviously we've got this Porsche on the left. I also don't know. That might be the 911 GT3R Evo. It also could be a cup car. I'm not exactly sure. But here, this is actually really hype. I believe these Camaros right here are the Garage 56 stuff that ran in Le Mans. So I believe we'll be getting like the actual race car from Le Mans that year. I forget what year it was. It was so hype when it happened though. It was really cool to see to see that Camaro flying around Le Mans. But and then I think we'll get like a testing version and then maybe like a presentation version as well. So I think that's why we see three. So the actual race car testing version and then like a prototype version. We do see a Mercedes-AMG GT3 sample right here. That might be like an Evo version, not sure. And then the Aston Martin Valhalla right there, I believe. And then this stuff right here. So I don't know what this one on the right is. That might be a Cadillac, not sure. We've got a couple Mustangs in the middle right here, which look awesome, and then a Mercedes SUV as well. So there's that. And then I think this is the last one. Again, some more Mercedes stuff. A Citroen right there, and then what was that? Was the Fiat? Was it a Fiat? The Fiat Tempra? I can't remember. It was that. It was the car that was. I think was made because it was requested so heavily from the Brazilian collectors, which is really cool. I think it was the Fiat Tempra. Uh, I don't really have time to be Google searching stuff, but I think that's what it was. Yeah, yeah, that's the Fiat Tempra. Okay, cool. I remembered it correctly. Anyways, really cool stuff. Moving on. Uh, I think this is the last bit of prototype samples that were shown at Shizuoka, but we have the Temerario GT3 right here, and then I think is that is that a McLaren? Is that the McLaren W1? Can't remember what this one on the left is, but we have a Greenwood Corvette here on the right. I think these raced in Le Mans in the 70s, I believe around 75. So cool. That is going to be awesome. So really hype stuff from Shizuoka Hobby Show. There's also some Cube Cars stuff. I don't remember if this was MDX or Shizuoka, but I don't really cover Cube Cars. It's not really. It doesn't fit into what the like goal of this channel is, which is premium 164 scale. So just kind of, if you want to look, go ahead and look. Moving on. Uh, yeah, so we're getting into MDX now. So they did have another like presentation at the dinner, of course. So this kind of focuses on the Toyota, or sorry, not Toyota, Tokyo Extreme Racer video game. It's on PS5 and Steam, kind of showing like the timeline of the games and whatnot. And then apparently, I didn't know this. Maybe it was announced at HEC, but apparently these Mini GT themed cars are in the game. I didn't know that. That is freaking awesome. So as you can see, Steam, PS5. I did look on Steam. This game is $50, so it's not a super cheap game. But yeah, I thought it was really cool that the Mini GT themed cars were in here. So they've got the Datsun truck that they're actually, I think, working on creating in real life, and then you can also see the livery on the Supra, and then also on a Honda Civic Type R. I thought this was really cool that there's Mini GT cars in a game now. So kind of interesting. Moving on, Fast and Furious stuff. Of course, that's like the whole big buzz that's going on right now. And talked about it a little bit more. They kind of showed like a little bit of information just on like the partnership. Most importantly, the thing that really caught my attention is the campaign duration right here. It says it's going to run from 2026 through 2028. So they're only going to be doing this for a couple years. So it's not going to be like a Hot Wheels thing where they're just going to milk it, milk the teat until it's dry until the end of time. So it's just going to run for a couple years. It does say that there's going to be 30 plus SKUs, which I believe means that there's going to be 30 plus individual models released, which is fine. They can release as many as they want. I'm just glad it's not going to last for like an abhorrent amount of time. So I'm sure they'll cover all the important cars, everything everybody wants, and then it'll be done, which I like. It'll open up again so they can do other cool stuff. And then they also shared some photos. I assume that these are all the cars that they're going to want to do. And again, here's another slide of cars. I'm assuming they're doing all this. In fact, we've already seen a lot of these cars on display at MDX, which we're going to get into here in a second. So yeah, pretty cool. Again, Veilside, Fast and Furious, just all that stuff. Kaido House did have some stuff to show off as well. So they're actually, and this looks like a real car. Obviously, all these are pretty much based on real cars, but a Hyundai N collab with Kaido House, which is pretty interesting. And then obviously the real life Hornet. I don't know if these cars have already been made or if these are just kind of like renders that they've done, but either way, pretty cool. They've also got some new like development stuff to show us. So this is a Kaido Works Lowboy silhouette. I think that this is probably a fantasy casting. Not really sure. They also showed off this Kaido Works Ford F-150. This one's actually kind of cool. I actually don't mind this one. This is kind of like a F-150 trophy truck, but like in Kaido House style, which I think is kind of cool. I cannot stand like the Kaido House crap being plastered all over these models, but like the idea of this is pretty cool, and it makes me wonder if Mini DT will do some actual like Baja and trophy trucks sometime in the future, or elite ball knowledge here, even maybe like a line of super trucks, like stadium super trucks, would be really cool too. But anyways, there's that. Um, Subaru WRX STI, pretty cool. There's the 1978 Chevrolet Camaro. So that's obviously a different one than what we just got on pre-order, different body style. So that's kind of neat as well. And then Lancia Delta HF Integrale, which this one kind of surprised me. Um, not, in my opinion, not really something that needs what like obnoxious wide body treatment, but apparently that's going to be coming as well. And then Kaido Works Volkswagen Race Transporter. So I'm sure that'll be really popular, which it is pretty cool. So there's that. Getting into some BBR from Malaysia Diecast Expo. Again, like I said with Shizuoka, I think we've seen most of this stuff before, so there's not really anything too crazy here, but very nice stuff overall. These are all looking amazing. So there's those. Again, some more stuff here. This black one with the red accents looks really good as well. I can't remember exactly what that is, which car that is, but looks really good. There's the Alfa Romeo 33 Stradale. We have seen this before. It's in diecast now. I think the last time we saw it was maybe in resin. So this one's going to be awesome. Very excited for that. Again, here's this Camel Trophy set that we just got on pre-order. Again, they've been showing it off at the several of the last few events, and it just looks awesome. So there's that. Here's like an overview of some of the Fast and Furious and Veilside stuff. I have some more close-up photos here. So there's the Toyota and RX-7 that we got on pre-order. These were also, like I said, the event models. Look really good. Honestly, they look really high quality. So pretty cool. There's a couple of the S2000s. I'm not like I said earlier, I'm not the biggest FNF fan. I don't know the people like in universe. I don't know a lot of lore. Like I know like what a lot of these cars are, but I don't know like who owns them or whatever. Don't know the movies that they're from. Obviously they say on the plaque. So the pink one is Too Fast Too Furious. Don't know a lot about this stuff, but overall everything's looking pretty good. You've got of course Dom's Chargers from like the various different movies and stuff, which look awesome. And like James Bond, I'm just gonna touch on this for a second. James Bond brought us so many cool cars and castings just to the Mini DT lineup in general. So I'm actually really glad that they're doing this Fast and Furious collab for that same reason. It's going to bring a lot of cool licenses and castings and cars to the lineup just in general. So like I'm sure we'll start seeing some like stock versions of these old Chargers and maybe some Challengers from the Mini GT line, which is really cool. So there's those. I think this is probably one of the most famous cars from Fast and Furious. That's, of course, Brian's R34. That was Brian's R34, right? I haven't seen these movies in so long, and I haven't even seen all of them. I've seen the first 5. I stopped watching them after that, but it's been a long time, too. But this one's really cool. On the left here, the Lamborghini LM002. That's pretty neat. Got the S15 there. So very cool. Some Mustangs from Tokyo Drift. Lots of really cool stuff. That Boss 302. Oh, this is one of, if not my favorite Mustang of all time, is the late 60s Boss 302. So it was in Fast and Furious, obviously, so they're making it. I hope we get some other stock versions of it as well, specifically in orange, like that burnt orange color. Oh, that thing is, love that car. So very cool there. Oh, must have unclicked. We also got a couple prototype samples of some stuff from the Drifter movie. So a couple AE86s, the Lola 1 and Lola 2. Is this movie out? I don't know if this, I'm assuming this movie's out. Maybe I should watch it. But anyways, those look pretty cool. Here's some Senna stuff. Also those Hyundai box trucks, which look pretty cool. There you go. There's the Fiat Tempra. Wait, maybe that one was a different one then. Maybe that was a different car. I'm sure somebody has already corrected me by now. But anyways, 007 stuff. So we got the V12 Vanquish, the DBS. That one's pretty cool. And then also Defender 110 from Spectre. So cool James Bond stuff, of course. Here's some motorbikes that they're going to be doing. So we got the Harley Davidson V-Rod and Fat Boy. And then we also have a Honda Goldwing. So pretty cool stuff there. I'm excited for more motorcycles for sure. We got that Ducati, and then I never thought they were going to do anything else. And then last year, I think at MDX, they announced Harley Davidson. So this is kind of like one of the first times we're seeing samples. So glad to see that was actually a thing that they're going to do. So here's kind of an overview. Lots of cool stuff in here. Pause and look if you would like. There's some really cool prototype samples here that I think I have closer pictures of. There's the McLaren W1 and the Aston Martin Valhalla. I don't know what that car from earlier was. Maybe that was a Lambo. But anyways, there's too many cars, and sometimes it's really hard to tell with the prototype versions. But some rally stuff over here. Really like these rally M3s. There's those Ford Falcons. Very, very cool. Some Mercedes stuff here. That motor wagon, of course. Really neat. Uh, this one on the left, I believe, is the Toyota TR010 hybrid from WEC, Le Mans. So that one's really cool. We also have this guy right here, which I believe is an updated version of the BMW GTP car. Um, I was asking for this. I've been asking for this for a long time and been hoping that they make it. This, finally, the McLaren F1 long tail. That is going to be awesome. I hope they do all of the like important ones. Like I really hope they do the ones that raced in I think it was Japan Touring Car Championship, or maybe it was their Group A stuff. Really hope that they make a lot of cool liveries and stuff for that. And then right next to it, we also have the, I believe this is a Porsche RSR Carrera Turbo from the 70s, obviously racing like Le Mans and stuff. So that's a really cool new casting. So yeah, lots of cool stuff been showing off from Mini GT lately. There's some McLarens in the Marlboro livery. I hope those come with stickers or decals to put on. If not, it's going to be a little disappointing because I do like my Marlboro stuff to actually say Marlboro. But either way, they look really cool. So there's those. That's the first time we've seen these two, I think. So there's a closer photo of those Rally M3s. Those are going to be awesome. Closer picture of those as well. Nice Mustang in the background. Some A86s. Those look really cool. Here's some RX-7s right here. I don't know exactly what this is. I'm assuming this is a Veil side kit, but looks pretty good there. Some Liberty Walk, just kind of a nice assortment of a lot of stuff right here. Mostly JDM. In fact, yeah, all this stuff is JDM. But I wanted to point out this Liberty Walk RX-7 right here. This is actually another throwback livery to an old Porsche with that red and yellow Momo theme. So that one's really cool. Wanted to point that out. We also got pink and lime green Huracan GTs. Those will be pretty popular, I'm sure. So yeah, moving on. There's some more RX-7s. Pretty cool. There's another angle of those. Honda Prelude in the background. There's that Cole BRZ or GR86. There's also an R35 right here. That one looks stock. So I'm assuming that's like a specific year or like trim version of it. So that's pretty cool. Fighterworks for the Murcielago and also Advan livery for the Murcielago. So that's really cool. Here's the R35 that we just got on pre-order. So pretty neat stuff there. Here, these are really cool. So we've got finished samples of the Cadillac Eldorados. We've got one in black with a tan interior, and then that all pink one is really cool as well. And then this car on the left right here, sitting next to them, I believe this is a Lincoln Continental from 1959. It was either 59 or 60. I think it was 59. That one's really cool as well. Really glad that they're kind of hitting some of these classic American land yachts. I think they're really cool. So those are going to be awesome. Again, another Mustang in the back right there. So yeah, you can see these. There's some Citroens in front as well, which look awesome. These minis right here. So yeah, lots of really cool stuff. Lots of really nice variety. So here's some stuff over here. I don't know who this is standing next to this GTR. Not really sure. Maybe this is part of the Sugio Matsuda collection. I could see that. They haven't done anything for it in a while, so that makes sense. But anyways, yeah, moving on. Some couple more prototype type samples right here. I'm assuming these are both. Actually, no, I think this is a Honda S2000. So maybe a Veil side kit on that. And then I don't know what this thing in the middle is. I'm assuming maybe an FC RX-7. Not sure. But anyways, Tarmac Works, finally. So this was the April pre-order announcement. This is for Hobby 64. Pretty nice stuff here. Another Audi A4 Quattro from 1999 Macau. We've got some Liberty Walk stuff, or at least one. So LB Silhouette Works GT Nissan 35 GTRR in white. That's in the Athlete Colette livery. We've got a Toyota GR Yaris Rally 2 from Rally Sweden. Porsche 911 GT3R from Nürburgring 2024, Mercedes AMG GT4 from Macau 2025 in that Moon Eyes livery, and then another cinnamon roll. Actually, I think this is just the normal global release of the cinnamon roll. They did an event model. Now we have a normal release of it, so that one's pretty cool as well. It comes with this like fancy like track display base, and then also a pack of cards. So um, probably pretty safe to assume that one's going to be like $40 or $50 because Tarmac Works likes to inflate the prices of their products with stuff we don't need. So, I mean, the track is pretty cool, but why, if you're going to do that and inflate the price with like a big package, why also include cards that I'm sorry, I don't think anybody really cares about? I don't know. That's just my opinion. We do another pre-order for May. Pretty good stuff here. I think these are all Global 64. Porsche 911 993 Cup. We've got the Chimera Evo 37. That's based off the Lancia 037. That's really cool. Nissan Skyline R32 wide body. That's a John Sabol and Sean Witherspoon collab. We've got a Porsche 959 in white with a red interior. A Porsche 928 S4 in like a nice bronze metallic. Vertex Toyota Aristo in white, and then a Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 3 from 1998 China Rally. So honestly, lots of cool stuff here. I got another pre-order for May. This was the Hobby 64 pre-order, and again, lots of nice stuff. Toyota GR Yaris Rally 1 Hybrid from 2023. Another Falcon themed Porsche 911 from Nürburgring. Couple Liberty Walk cars here. So we've got the the blue and white Auto Finesse S15. I'm really curious to see how their casting is going to stack up to the Mini GT one, especially because the Mini GT one is really expensive now. So I probably will pick this one up and do a comparison video when it comes out. We've got another Audi A4 Quattro from British Touring Car Championship 1996. Not another, but it seems like they've been a while since they've done this casting. But we've got a Nissan GTR Nismo GT3 from 2025 GT World Challenge Asia. That one's pretty cool. And then last but not least, the LBER34 Super Silhouette Skyline, again in the Athlete Colette livery. Curious to see how that one stacks up to the Mini GT as well. But yeah, moving on. This is also an upcoming members only model. It's a Datsun Bluebird in blue with the surfboard on top. Pretty cool. And then they also showed off this. I don't know if we've seen a pre-order announcement for it yet, but this is going to be an upcoming model. Not sure about exclusivity or anything, but yeah, nice Mercedes AMG GT3 there. They also did show this off as well. I'm assuming that this is going to be a car they made. I think this is the AMG GT4, but I'm assuming this is since this partnership is going on, we'll see this in 164 for sure. So there's that. More Disney stuff. I don't really get the appeal for this, but here it is. Toyota Hiace wide body Monsters Inc. So there's that. I don't know if this was exclusive. I think this might just be a regular pre-order. But then Tarmac Works also had an appearance at Hong Kong Comic Con, and they had this stuff for sale. So the diecast model and then some accessories. It's the Liberty Walk Silhouette R32 in a Buzz Lightyear theme, Toy Story 5. So there's that. I did kind of think this was cool. I don't really like this whole Toy Story thing, but they did actually get a car from Liberty Walk or somebody that owns this car, and they put a wrap on it with the actual theme. So at least you can say that at some point this Buzz Lightyear R32 that Tarmac Works is releasing has existed, and there's photos of it. So like that kind of makes the appeal a little bit better. I still don't really like it though. But anyways, moving on, we got some more 711 Taiwan models from Tarmac Works. So 2 RWBs and 3 Porsche GT3Rs. This whole thing makes me sad because I like all 5 of these, but I'm not paying $100 each for them, which is typically about what they end up going for. I don't know. It's just sad. Like that presentation version of the Porsche is really cool. So are the other ones. The RWBs are awesome. So yeah, it is what it is, I guess. I'm not paying those prices. Anyways, they also did have some models that I think these were for the Shizuoka Hobby Show, which apparently Tarmac Works was present at, and I'm assuming they had some sort of display there, but I did not see photos of their booth at Shizuoka Hobby Show anywhere. There's no photos posted by anybody of their booth, unless I just missed it, which I don't think I did because I kind of scoured for it. But anyways, I think they sold both these at the event, and then I also think they sold this one at the event as well. But yeah, that's it for Tarmac Works because I couldn't find photos of their Shizuoka booth. So yeah, moving on, Motor Helix, bunch of pre-orders from them. So we've got a couple nice R34s here. Um, Bayside Blue with a GT Aero kit, and then Lightning Yellow with the GT Aero kit. Both of them actually look really cool. I like that yellow one quite a bit. So there's those. Got a couple more Subaru Impreza wagons, the STIs. One in Arctic Silver Metallic, and then one in Cashmere Yellow. We've got some more RWB 964 up on the top, and then a 964 in the Aoki theme. I actually really like the Aoki one. They both come with these little 164 scale engines, and then there's a chance of a chase with a gold base and a gold engine. So there's those. Again, same thing with the chase for these two as well, and the engines. But we've got the RWB 964 Tiffany, which I actually think I will get that one. I love the Tiffany RWB. It is really cool. And then also the 964 in the Martini theme. So there's those. They also misspelled scale right here, which it's not important. Getting sidetracked. Anyways, Honda Civic Type R Ultimate Edition in white. That one looks pretty cool. And then there's also this one, Honda Civic Type R. What is this theme called? Is it down here? P-tism? No, I'm not going to make any jokes. We're just going to move on. Okay. Happy Children's Day. Apparently, they're doing a couple models for this. I don't know if these are exclusive to a particular region or anything or an event, but the RWB is limited to 3,399, and then the Honda Civic is limited to 2,999. And then surprise random freebies. So I don't know if these like come in the package or I don't know exactly what this was for, but there they are. Kind of cool. I like the liveries on them. I like that type of stuff. So those are actually pretty cool. A couple more Honda Civics. These are both EK9s. So we've got a customized Motul livery and then also a No Good Racing Motul livery. I'm assuming these will come, or at least this black one will come with some decals so you can put whatever number you want in this box since it's blank. Not sure. We'll see. Yeah, there's those. A couple more Honda Acties. One of them is in, well, they're both in Honda liveries, of course, but one's in like a Castrol theme, and then the other one kind of seems like it's like a almost like a Rothman's theme, but I don't think it is. But yeah, they look pretty cool. And then there's some information down here about some accessories. So it says randomly included accessory packs featuring air conditioning units, storage cabinets, and other garage inspired display items. And then they magnetically attach to the bed of the trucks. So apparently the whatever items they come with are random. I don't know, or maybe there's like a little blind bag you can buy alongside them. I don't know how that works, but there they are. They are pretty cool. Another Honda Civic Type R. This one is from 2012 Japan One Make race, which is kind of interesting. So there's that. We've got some NSXRs. So we've got a blue and white racing livery and then a customized electroplating gun gray. So that one's kind of like a chrome color. So there's those. We've got a couple more Alfa Romeo 8C Competiciones 2008, one in Giallo Mica, and then one in Bianco Polare. So if we have any Alfa Romeo fans watching, please let me know because I'm curious about something. I did a review on the blue and red ones that came out, and I kind of looked into it because I couldn't find any pictures of the Competición spec with these 5-spoke wheels. I could only find the Competición with these like clover wheels. Don't these 5-spoke wheels belong to the non-Competición version of the 8C? Let me know. I'm curious about that. But anyways, a couple more colors. They do look pretty nice. And then Motor Helix, this wasn't, actually, no, this was from Shizuoka Hobby Show. So this was their booth set up there. This Liberty Walk R35 over here kind of shows all the different pieces and stuff, which is cool. More of these 8Cs. I love this green livery right here. But all three of them look really good. Some more Honda Acties. Got some Honda Civics. In fact, this white one is the one that just went on pre-order. They've got a Moon Eyes one, the Nilus. I cannot wait for those Nilus. They've got some R35s down here in candy red. And then this Fair Lady Z and then another HKS Civic Type R. So pretty cool stuff. More R34s up on the top left, and then we've got some Mitsubishi Lancers on the right, and then a couple more Subaru wagons down there on the bottom left. So pretty cool stuff. And then of course RWB. I think some of these maybe they were selling, but also the 993 Army Girl should be releasing at some point. I think that one's on pre-order. So there we go. Almost Real got quite a bit of stuff from them as well. So this one apparently is on pre-order, but this one's released now. So I don't know why it was being labeled as a new pre-order. This one's actually for sale on RCMart. I'm thinking about grabbing one because it does look really cool. So there's that Land Rover Defender. This is the 2 million pieces edition. So I'm assuming this was like a celebratory model for Land Rover for selling 2 million cars or 2 million Land Rover Defender 90s. Not exactly sure. I'm going to need to look into that. But yeah, pretty cool. They've also got this one on pre-order now. I believe this is just a global pre-order, but I know that they do sell. They have been selling some of these at like their flagship stores in China. So this should be a regular release. Land Rover Defender 90 Heritage Edition actually looks really cool in that like forest green color. So that's cool. They also did show off a bunch of new Porsche stuff. So here's a pre-order, and it looks like they have actually updated the casting a little bit to include photo etched metal wing supports, which was something that the first few versions, at least that I have, was missing. They were just done in plastic. So looks like they've kind of upgraded that a little bit, which is really cool. So here's this one from 2026 GT World Challenge Asia. That one's pretty cool. They've also got this one on pre-order as well. Absolute Racing from 2025 Thailand Super Series. That one's pretty cool. And also, again, you'll notice this one also has the photo etched metal wing supports because these are actual model renders, not just car renders. And then there's also this one. I actually really like this livery. This one's really cool. So there's that one from GT World Challenge Asia, Indonesia. So that's going to be coming at some point. And then we also have this is a Porsche 911 GT3 Cup. And they've announced a partnership with 610 Racing, which I think is also, I think 610 also partners with the Boring Concept. So I wonder if we'll see some of that from Almost Real too. But anyways, here's this one as well. This one almost looks like a throwback to a John Player Special livery or car, which I kind of like. And the thing that made me think that was this text up at the front that looks like the same font. So that's kind of interesting. I believe this is also a new pre-order. Again, the 993 Army Girl. So Motor Helix and Almost Real are going to have that. I don't know which one's going to be better. I might have to do some comparisons, but there's that. They also, I like how Almost Real and Motor Helix both kind of like just show stuff off without having a booth set up somewhere. So they just like post pictures, send pictures out for people to see their products that they're working on, which I think is cool. So here's some Porsches. Obviously, this one on the bottom left in blue, that one's on pre-order, and so is this Be Quick one in gold up at the top, and some other liveries as well. They look really nice. We have seen most of this stuff before. I think maybe a couple colors of these RWBs might be new. I really like the pink and yellow ones here, though, and I think that one's also an Apple computer livery there in the back. Not exactly sure, but more BMWs. Again, we've seen a lot of this stuff before. There might be some new colors and whatnot, but everything's looking pretty good from Almost Real. Porsches, freaking 20 million Isettas and 600s. Really like those. But yeah, they also showed off more photos of this stuff. So they've got their opening parts Paganis down here. And then just some like really cool like niche specs of like some BMWs and whatnot, like the E36 GTR, and then the E36 lightweight. Really cool stuff. Here's some more Ferraris, more photos of the Ferraris that we saw last time with all the opening parts and stuff. This is obviously the collaboration with BBR models, so pretty cool there. And then they also showed off some upcoming colors of a bunch of their different Paganis. So yeah, lots of cool stuff here. I actually did get the silver Zonda F in that they released a little while back. I think they did like a first sale at HEC and then released them later on. But yeah, we'll review that soon. But really cool Pagani stuff. These models are just incredible. Like the amount of detail is insane. So yeah, there's that stuff. And they also did share this photo of some, I don't know if these are prints or decals, but kind of just putting liveries on these BMWs. So that's kind of cool as well. ATS is a brand that I'm starting to really like. I don't have anything from them yet, but I probably will soon. And they seem very trustworthy. They seem like they're Very adamant about making sure everything's legit and licensed, which, as if you guys don't know, I only support licensed stuff on this channel. Sketchy brands do not get featured here, so that's why you don't see anything from Inno64, Pop Race, stuff like that. They've done stuff in the past that has just made me not trust them, so I don't cover them or collect them. But ATS seems really cool, doing a lot of neat stuff. So they've got some pre-orders for a couple Aston Martin DB5s. Really like the colors they're doing, and they look incredibly detailed too. So I'm curious to see what the price point will be, and I'll have to pick some up soon. But we've also got the Aston Martin DB12s on pre-order now. Both of those look really nice. They've also got a silver one there too. They've got some Supras coming out, so the A90 Supra, yellow, red, and then they've also got these two right here in black and white. They look really nice. Like, these models look very, very well done. So, Subaru Levorg, which we never got here in the United States, but it's a wagon. It's like a modern wagon, which I really like. So that one's cool. I don't know how many colors. I don't know if this silver counts as a different color as this cool gray khaki, but looks like maybe 3 colors of this one. But at least the khaki and the black are on pre-order now. And we got some Mitsubishi stuff. Looks pretty good. Some Lancer Evo 9s. So there's those. We've got some Mazda RX-7 FC3Ss, one in black, one in red. Again, just very nicely detailed, it looks like. So I'm assuming these will have like the headlights will go up and down, but we will see. Mazda MX-5 in the Renown livery. Seems like everybody likes to do this with the MX-5. So yeah, nice little Miata there. There's a initial D 30th anniversary MX-5 Miata in red. And then some Honda Civics, red and white. Pretty standard stuff. And they also did show off this Audi too, which is pretty cool. So there's that. Moving on, LCD models. There is a couple things here. This is a Lamborghini Revuelto in racing yellow. And then we also have a Pagani Huayra R Evo Roadster in white and gold with carbon details. And then we also have another Pagani Huayra R. This is the non-Evo. And this one's in gloss black carbon. And then some Land Rover Defender 90s, one in black, one in blue, one in green. So these are all on pre-order now. And last but not least, I think for the pre-orders for LCD, we've got the Pagani Huayra Roadster, blue and red, and then they both have some nice carbon detailing. I feel like they've already released these in the past, so these may be re-releases, which I think is fine, but there are those. Mini Champs is up next. They've actually got quite a bit to look at, so 7-Eleven exclusives, just like Tarmac Works, they've been doing these. So here's a couple Porsches that they sold there. 911 992.2 GT3s, 2026 variants. So those are pretty cool. A whole plethora of pre-orders for F1 stuff. So it looks like they're kind of covering like everything from the 2026 season, except for obviously not Ferrari. There might be a couple other teams here that they're missing. They might not have the Red Bull ones. No, they do have the Red Bull ones. What am I talking about? But yeah, lots of pre-orders here for you F1 fans. So now you've got Mini Champs, Spark, and Look Smart all kind of covering all the bases for F1. So that is good. They also did sell this one, I believe, at Malaysia Diecast Expo. This was the event model. So there's that AMG F1 car with Kimi Antonelli figure. So there's that. There's also a photo of the event model right there. But yeah, just lots of cool F1 stuff from them on display here at MDX. So here's all this stuff. Some prototype samples of some of the Mercedes right there. So yeah, lots of cool stuff. I'm not the biggest F1 fan, but for those of you that are, I'm sure this is pretty exciting. I do like old F1 stuff though, like these old F1 cars. So they've got some Rothmans cars coming, and also some old Camel Trophy stuff, which is really cool. There's Michael Schumacher right there and Ayrton Senna, so they're covering some pretty cool bases with like vintage F1 as well. So very cool there. They also did show off a bunch of Porsches. It seems like the only thing Mini Champs makes is Porsche and F1, which is kind of odd. But there's a bunch of Porsches here. They all look pretty good, honestly. I do have some Mini Champ stuff in my collection. I've been pretty happy with all of them. I've had some complaints here and there, but overall they make some pretty good stuff. So here's a bunch of Porsches for you to feast your eyes on. So there's that. Up next, Greenlight. So covering Greenlight for me is kind of weird because like I really like their like Greenlight Premium lineup that they kind of had going, but it seems like that's like fallen off the edge of the cliff. I don't know what Greenlight's doing. Their regular line that you can buy in retail stores here in the US, I don't collect and I don't cover because in my opinion it's just not really that good for the price. It kind of more competes with like Hot Wheels. But they do have some interesting stuff. So like right here is their lineup of RC cars. These are not diecast, but yeah, they've got 164 scale RC cars, and it actually looks like they've got a couple Fast and Furious cars right here. So they obviously have that collab. But yeah, RC stuff. Here's some close-ups of some of the RC stuff as well, like that Supra. But I mean, they do have a lot of cool diecast stuff. I just don't know what of this is actually their premium series or their kind of more subpar regular series, in my opinion. Unless they're just like kind of shifting everything to be like nicer premium stuff. I don't know. I haven't really looked at any Greenlight stuff in store, but I kind of doubt that's the case. So yeah, here's Greenlight if you want to take a look. Like this is one of their premium castings, but so far they've only done like event models stuff. So I don't know. I don't really know. NYPD van, there's that. Some nice like tanks and stuff, which is kind of neat. I know there is a market for that. So there's that. Some more vans there. Like police, they do a lot of like police department and stuff. So yeah, some Mustangs here again. I don't know if these are going to be like premium or just like their normal lineup. So yeah, just gonna kind of skim through it just because I don't know what we're looking at here. That's the problem. So here's all that stuff. Some Subarus, some Dodge stuff over here. So yeah, there's all that. IXO, this is another kind of odd thing that we're covering this time that I'm not really sure about. But IXO America, if you guys don't know, IXO is part of a giant like diecast production like factory company. Um, and they produce a lot of the models that Tarmac Works sells. And it looks like, and I know they do make their own 164 scale stuff, but they've had like they released like a giant wave of like pre-orders and like upcoming things. I don't really know how I feel about them. Like for instance, looking at this Challenger right here, this does not look very good to me. This looks like it's more gonna compete with like Auto World. Like I don't know if you guys have ever seen like Auto World stuff. It's fine for the price, you know, like $6, $7. But yeah, I don't know. These don't look good to me. It looks like it's got like painted headlights and stuff. I don't know. These look kind of cheap to me. Look very plasticky. I don't know, but like these are also like most of what I'm going to show here is pre-production samples and like renders. So these aren't like actual photo models of like I mean, I guess this one is the pre-production sample. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about this stuff. Like they're doing some cool neat kind of niche like American stuff, which I know there's a big market for. I also don't know how widely available these are going to be globally. But anyways, feast your eyes. They've got a bunch of stuff. Camaros, trucks. I don't know what all of the names of all of these different vehicles are, but definitely got a lot of stuff going on. I don't know necessarily if these are like pre-order announcements or if these are just showcasing what they're cooking. But yeah, lots of cool stuff here though. Some more Camaros, a Mustang, another truck. And then they've also got a bunch of like semi trucks too. Like that's kind of one of the big things that I've noticed that IXO does is they do a lot of like American semi trucks and like tractor trailer stuff. So here's a bunch of those. Um, but yeah, like some of them say pre-production sample, and then some of them will say like concept image, which I don't really know what the difference is, but then like you'll see here in a minute. There's some that they've literally just taken like a render of a real car and like smashed it onto this white background with like Photoshop. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting, but here's all these trucks. Yeah, like this one in the middle right here. Like that's just a real that's just a real truck that they've like photoshopped onto this white background and like added shadow detail under. And in the process they like cut off the bottom part of the tire. I don't know. Not really not really nitpicking the photo quality, but I'm just saying. So yeah, there's lots of cool stuff here for those that are interested though. I probably won't be too interested in this stuff, but yeah, there it is. There's also again some more like real car render photos, like clip art almost type looking stuff, but anyways, there's all that. I think this is the last one right here. Pretty cool stuff, honestly. Like, definitely not bad. But anyways, Fiber Run next. Another brand that I do kind of like to cover because they do seem like they are very legit. So there's some Subaru Forester STI wagons that they've been making. They've also got some really cool Audi stuff. So there's some RS4s on the left and then some Audi S8s on the right. Then they've got RS65 and then another Audi RS6 here on the, or sorry, left over here and then right over here. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. They've got some a lot of like Mitsubishi Lancers. I don't know how many. Uh, it just feels like a lot of these companies just make the same stuff sometimes. Like I feel like everybody's making Lancers. I don't know. I guess they're just popular cars. But anyways, we'll get into Spark now. Spark does have quite a bit of stuff this time as well. Actually, a lot of really cool stuff. So this one is an AO Racing exclusive. This is the Sketchy Rexy. If you don't know, go on AO Racing site if you want this and pre-order it. That's the only place you're going to be able to buy it. There's a lot of drama with AO Racing. I'm not going to get into that now because we've been going for almost an hour. But anyways, yeah, there's a Porsche 911 Sketchy sold by AO Racing exclusively, made by Spark. So there's that. They've also got these, which I think are really cool. So the Lancia LC2s from 1985 Le Mans. We got the number 4 and number 5 cars. These are actually pretty awesome. I'm excited for these. They're in the Martini livery. Yeah, those are really cool. I also think this is really neat as well. So this is a little like diorama display set of the Roof CTR Yellowberg from Nürburgring, and it's kind of like sliding around that corner. I think this is really cool. This is kind of stuff. This is the kind of like neat, weird stuff that I like. I will probably end up buying that. So there's that. That's on pre-order now. And then they've also got another slew of Le Mans Porsches, which is really cool. So you can pause and read and look if you would like, but there's lots of cool stuff here. I don't know if I'll pick up all of these because they are kind of expensive for what they are. But at the same time, it's like, is it worth waiting for another brand to make this stuff? I don't know. But here's the Porsche RSR Carrera Turbo. Again, Mini GT just unveiled this casting, so I don't know if it's worth it to wait or buy the Spark, because I do think Mini GT is much better for the money than Spark is. Um, Spark is better than they were, but still not great. They need to be like $10 cheaper. These models are between like $22 and $25. They need to be like $10 cheaper. Then I think they'd be good buys. But anyways, there's those. Another F1 car, Mercedes AMG from 2024 Las Vegas. And then this one right here kind of confuses me. So this is the Porsche 919 Hybrid, and this is a very old release from Spark. I assume that they're taking this specific release and updating it with like more details since they've done their rebranding. I'm not sure, but apparently this is on pre-order again. They're using the same like render photo from the old one that was released like a long time ago. So I don't know. We'll see if they update it with tire tire logos and stuff. I'm just not really sure. Just kind of weird. Looks smart. Couple new pre-orders from them. So both Ferraris from 2026 Canadian Grand Prix. So there's those. Trends Hobby, just this single slide for them. So they had a Tiny Hong Kong collaboration. I believe this was a Hong Kong exclusive, and it's a Coca-Cola livery on a McLaren Senna GTR. And then they also have this Lamborghini Temerario, which is a collaboration with Keith Haring. I don't really know who that is, but I believe this one is going to be exclusive to the Taipei Toy Show in Taiwan. So there is that one. Moving on, we got one thing from BMC. This is the Isuzu D-Max, kind of in like a police livery. Looks like it comes with some traffic cones, opening doors, opening tailgate. So there's that. Pretty cool. Kiloworks, a few things from them, not too much. We did get a new pre-order for these Mercedes AMG GT3 Evos. Both of them, I believe, from 2025 DTM. So yeah, the man filter one with the really cool like Viper livery, which I really like, and then the pink BWT one. So those are pretty cool. Wasn't impressed with Kiloworks with the first one that I got from them, so hopefully they straighten out their quality control a little bit. But overall, pretty nice models if you're not getting bad quality on them. So there's those. They also did show off some other new stuff. So another Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo there, and then some Audi R8s on the right side. I don't think any of these are released yet. I think they're just kind of showing them off. And then they also showed off this Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo right here, right in front of a photo of the real car, which I think is really neat when when I think this stuff is kind of neat when like the diecast companies actually go out of their way to like support the team and the drivers and the team and the car of the thing they're making the model of, basically. So I thought that was pretty cool. And up next, we've got Hobby Japan. Got to pull out my notes so I know what these are. So we've got 4 cars right here. These are the Toyota Sprinter Trueno GT Apex AE86s. And it says they're the JDM custom version. So we've got the white and black and the red and black on the right side, and then the same thing except with the carbon fiber hoods. So there's those. We've also got these two right here. So this is the Honda S2000 AP1. There's Grand Prix white and then Sebring silver metallic. And then we've also got these two. You'll notice that like when I switch the slides, like they look exactly the same. Even the white one, it looks exactly the same. I don't know what the difference is here, but apparently this yellow and this white one are customized versions of the S2000 AP1. So we've got Indy Yellow Pearl and then Grand Prix White. I don't know what's different about them. They look the exact same to me. They've got the removable tops and then like the convertible piece that sits on that back shelf as well. So there's those. A couple more Honda S2000s. These are all Type S's. So we've got one in Apex Blue Pearl, Grand Prix White, and then Moonrock Metallic. So there's those again with the removable tops with the stand. And then they've also got 2 new pre-orders for their JDM 64 line, which is, from what I'm kind of seeing, it's just a little bit like cheaper sub-series. But they look like they're all detailed pretty well at the same time. So a couple Honda Civic Type R FL5 Mugen Group Bs, one in white and one in blue. So there's those. Diecast Talk has a new set coming out. These are GCD. Now, little tidbit about this, I feel like it's fair to share for you guys, is I don't really support GCD as a brand. They do a little bit too much sketchy, unlicensed stuff for my liking, but I do support Diecast Talk. Diecast Talk is a great company. Isaac is a great guy. And so I do show off the stuff that he does in collaboration with GCD because he, at the very minimum, makes sure that everything is legit and licensed. So we've got this really cool TRD Pro Series box set with these 4 Toyotas right here. So that is pretty cool. Really like the TRD color scheme on those. So there's that. Moving on, we've got actually quite a bit of stuff from Tomica Limited Vintage. We've got the Lancia Thema 8.32 Phase 2 in red, and the black one is a Phase 1 versus a Phase 2 in black. So black one is the Thema Phase 1, red one is the Thema Phase 2. Up next, we've got, I believe these are both different. So no, these are both the same. What am I talking about? So this is the Toyota Crown Estate Royal Saloon 2000. And then obviously you have the navy blue one and then the white and silver one. Up next, we've got this guy right here. This is the Nissan POW 1989. One in aqua gray and then one in terracotta. So those are pretty interesting. We've got a couple Nissan Skylines right here. So the white one on the right-hand side is the hardtop 2000 GTR RS Watanabe wheels. And then the silver one is going to be the Nissan Skyline hardtop 2000 GTR 1972 Ogakubo Damashi Volume 11. So that might be like one from like an anime or something or a show. But yeah, there's those. We also have this Toyota ambulance. It's the FS55V, and it's in the Honda Fire Department livery. So there's that one, pretty cool. And they also have these, which I think are kind of neat. So these are like parking lot mats, and they come with a car. So this one obviously comes with the Nissan Skyline GTR R33 in silver. And yeah, so it's just like this big like display diorama mat type thing, like kind of like a desk mat, I guess. It's got like a bunch of little like pieces, comes with a bag, so I guess you can like roll it up and store it. And then it also comes with the car. And then they have a different one right here that comes with this Honda Civic. So it's the Honda Civic Type R yellow with a carbon fiber hood. So slightly different parking area between the two different versions. So I don't know, I kind of thought those were neat. They also did have a booth set up at the Shizuoka Hobby Show, which I feel like it's been a while since we've seen prototypes from Tomica. But yeah, I don't read Japanese, so I don't know what a lot of these are. I can kind of guess on some, but some pretty cool stuff overall from them. Definitely pretty cool. And oddly enough, some of these plaques are like translated from wherever I grabbed these photos from, but yeah, it's kind of like random. But we've got a Honda S2000 Type S right there. I believe the one on the right is an Integra. So pretty cool stuff overall. Little flatbed truck right here. Oh, we've got some Jaguars right here, some E-types. Those are very cool. Lamborghini Countaches. So we got the LP500S and the LP500R. Pretty neat. Some more stuff here. Nissan 180SX. And then Nissan. See, like this one's like translated Nissan YI-3 Nismo. That's got to just be that's just a Z. That's just a Nissan Z. Anyways, um, interesting. I thought this was kind of in like odd. So this is going to be a new lineup from Tomica. It's called Tomica Custom Works, and it seems like they're kind of copying Kaido House here, right? Like these look like Kaido House body kits. I could be wrong. These could be based on real cars, but it doesn't seem like it. But anyways, there's a Honda NSX, and then this one over here looks like a S13 Sylvia. So I don't know, kind of interesting. I don't know if these are going to be classified as like Tomica Limited Vintage. I doubt it. I think this is going to be its own separate line. But yeah, Tomica Custom Works. So there's that. Then they also had a little display here as well with some like upcoming stuff, existing stuff. So we got some Mazda 787Bs, um, some Toyota Celicas up there, just some pretty neat stuff. Lamborghinis and the Pizza Planet truck, interestingly enough, from Toy Story. So there's that. Ignition model. This is the only slide I have for them. I believe this. I don't remember if this was at Shizuoka Hobby Show or MDX. I think this was Shizuoka, but they had a bunch of RWBs on display here. I really like the Jägermeister one. I really like the Red Bull one as well. It's obviously not Red Bull like actual Red Bull. It's just got the logos and then raw welt. But yeah, pretty cool RWBs there. A couple R34s down here. So there's those. And then I think this is the last thing we have for this video. We got some new stuff from like Barago's like kind of premium line. In my opinion, these don't look very good and are not really worth spending money on, but we got the Ferrari Pro Songway and a couple F80s there as well. I don't know if those are different. I think maybe this is just two of the same F80, maybe slightly different color, not sure. But anyways, there's those. And then last but not least for this entire video, we have a some F1 cars from Barago as well. So there's that. That is everything. That was a lot. That was 225 slides that we just went through in an hour and 7 minutes. So yeah, we've been going for a while. I'm just gonna cut it here. Thank you guys for watching. If you watched all the way to the end, I really do appreciate you. Yeah, like I said, we'll get back. We'll start doing live streams next month. I've just been really busy lately, so here is the news for this past month or so. So, anyways, thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.